As people fled for their lives, emergency service personnel cared for casualties and police began to clear the area. Reports of another explosive device came in incorrect, and the journalists who began to arrive within minutes of the explosion were increasingly kept back from the arena. One of them was ITV's Jam Williams-Thomas.
Well, as you can hear above me, there's helicopters circling us. They've been circling us for the past couple of hours. Also, lots of police still flying through the area. Lots of ambulances still flying through the area. The police cordon has just gotten a bit bigger as well, so everyone's being pushed away further and further. And as I was stood there earlier, there was still a few Ariana Grande fans, I assume concert goers, as I had the T-shirts on, walking past looking very, very visibly shaken at tonight's event.
I was going to say, a lot of those fans, a lot of the people at the concert would have been young, right? Teenagers.
Yes, a lot of teenagers walking past, looking very shaken, hugging parents and things like that. You know, you can probably hear the sirens now, you know, still have been going for the past few hours, flying through where I've been stood. And we've been stood right next to the arena for most of the evening. And again, police now pushing people away. It looks pretty sort of deserted around the area now. Police, again, just trying to clear people away and warning people not to come into the area. You know, but as I say, the sirens have been going for the past few hours, constantly non-stop, flying through, and obviously we've heard the reports of 19 fatalities, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's terrible. And Jam, the police, are there a lot of guns there? Are people behaving as if this were a terror attack?
Yes, well, we actually had reports of armed police just a bit further up near the cathedral. Armed police were swarming that area. There's been some pictures circulating on social media of that. So it's a very scary situation here, and you know, it's a very, very sad night for the people of Manchester.
Absolutely. Are you from Manchester, Jam?
I am from Manchester, yes.
Right, and
I actually used to work at the arena as well, so it's pretty sad. Pretty sad.
And so is there, at the back of your mind, is there a sense of possibility about something like this happening, or is it not something you've thought much about in Manchester previously?
Well, it's not. I mean, obviously, we have our history, you know, with obviously the 1996 IRA bomb, and, you know, with us being a massive city in England, I mean, some people are saying that it was inevitable that something like this was going to happen here in a city like this, a very multicultural city, you know, and so a lot of people have been saying that it's been a long time coming, unfortunately. So in the back of my head, I mean, you always think you've got iconic landmarks like the Trafford Centre and places like that where a lot of people do go. So some people, from what I've heard, whispers, you know, said, look, this has been coming for a while now. When I was a little younger, I used to work behind the bar there, so the place does hold a special place in my heart for that reason. One of the first places that I ever worked. So I've got a few friends who were working there tonight as well, but I've been in touch with them and they're safe. I've got a couple of cousins that are at the gig tonight as well, but luckily they are safe. By the grace of something, they are safe. So.
By the grace of something, Jam. And the terrible thing is that one imagines that it would have been, prior to this awfulness, a very happy, jubilant, glorious occasion, right? An Ariana Grande concert full of excited kids.
Indeed. And like I say, as I've been walking around the arena, which is now deserted, you see, you know, a few very, very young children, you know, wearing the Ariana Grande T-shirts, carrying balloons, things like that. Again, you know, it's a complete opposite of what you'd expect at a place like that. You know, like you say, you've got all the jubilance, you know, the joy and everything, and then for it to be tragically sort of cut like that. And, you know, I have spoken to a couple of people. A colleague of mine left his apartment, he lives just nearby, left his apartment and did spot one person with a blood-drenched T-shirt. So, you know, there were definitely harrowing scenes here tonight.
It's ITV reporter Jam Williams-Thomas. Just before we move on, although we will be back in Manchester later in the programme, some kindness. Throughout Manchester, people wanted to help offers of accommodation, and with public transport immediately stopped, cabbies and Uber drivers took to the streets to help get people home. No meter on, no charges, just because it was the right thing to do. Zafir Ahmed, or Zaf, is an Uber driver. He was already in bed when he heard about what had happened, and he jumped in his car to see what he could do to help. A small way to stand up to hate.
It is, my friend. It's a sad loss of human life. for humans to do that to other humans, no matter who's doing it, I just can't understand doing that to another human being.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this, but whatever happens, we will be redeemed by kindness at some level, Zaf. Is that why you're out? Is that why you're working, just to be as kind as you can?
Yeah, just basically do whatever you can. It's if you can't do that, one human can't do that for another human, then you're not a human, are you?
Zafir Ahmed, one of many Uber drivers who was working for free to get people home after the concert. We will be back in Manchester later.